and I listened to you very good the last time we spoke. And basically, Gunter, everything that you have said in our last podcast, nothing happened. Like you missed basically everything, everything in our talk, every kind of analysis, every kind of prediction. You didn't get the one. I couldn't find a one that you were right. Nothing happened. Like you missed basic. Okay, okay. You can record also on your end if you wish. Well,
Okay.
for me, it's just for me. It's the only thing that matters is uh, wait till I finish the translation, and after that you can publish it.
Okay, very good. It's also better for my podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Uh,
Happy.
okay. Okay. I'm going to say hello to the crowd, all the people that are listening from Serbia and abroad. Welcome to Mario Zna podcast. Welcome to the new episode with Gunter Felinger from Austria. Somebody calls him he is a NATO propagandist. Somebody calls him that he is Serbian hater, that he hates Serbs. But let's talk today. A lot of questions are there in for Gunter. Last time, Gunter, welcome to the show. Firstly,
Thanks a lot again for the invitation. I'm very happy to be on your show and
thank you.
looking forward to the debate.
Yeah, listen. Last time when we did a podcast, you asked me if you can record from your side, and I said yes. Like this time, it's perfectly normal that somebody can record from the other end so he can have all the information. But one thing before we start talking, I have to ask you because you published the our podcast and also Russian media. I saw that Russian media took your material from your YouTube channel and they also showed it. Yeah, one question: why did you cut the video that is 1 hour and 15 minutes long to half an hour video? Is censoring the part of the Western culture?
No, no, no. We believe in free speech. Be sure about it and publish everything because I love the debate. And I think
I
I
know.
published everything and I shared also. And I saw that in Russian state TV, our show, your show, was actually featured then in November 2023 very prominently. So I do
Yeah.
some advertisement for you and it's good for both of us.
Yeah, but you cut the video, which is 1 hour and 15 minutes long to 38 minutes. How is that possible?
I don't know that, but you can trust me. I'm very much for free speech. I'm even more for free speech than Elon Musk, and I will check it. But I probably didn't look at it because it was a long video. I just uploaded what was on Zoom, basically generated, and then maybe some mishap happened. But I want to everybody to know what's going on in Serbia, and this debate is very important for the public. And so I'm interested to have as much published as possible.
Okay, before we come to Serbia topic about my country, you want to talk about it. It's perfectly normal. There is a lot of things going on around here with protests, with lots of stuff. You know, European Union wants to mine lithium in our country, and we don't want to give our resources and our nature to European Union and car makers. But we will come to Serbia. But before we come to Serbia, Gunter, there is a lot of things that has happened since the last time we talked. We don't have much time. I know that you are a busy man. I know that you go to meetings to around Austria and Europe. I know that you don't miss any kind of dinner or dance is organized in Vienna. Yeah, Vienna is known for the best balls or dances in the world. Okay, so let's start.
You're welcome.
First thing, the fresh information. Maybe I don't know if you caught it, but UEFA just brought the decision about football match between Romania and so-called state of Kosovo, the fake state of Kosovo. Did you hear the news?
I know only one Republic of Kosovo, which is a
Oh,
wonderful republic, and I know they play very good football, and I'm not sure I'm not sure. You follow my goat videos.
Goat lives matter.
I heard
But
some
yeah,
news about that in Serbia recently, but nevertheless, Romania was not right with this decision, and I'm not into football anyhow. But I have called on Twitter. You might have seen it that Romania should be severely punished for this kind of nationalist outcry because Romania is a natural ally of Albanians and of Kosovo, obviously, and they have this kind of Russian propagandists in the ultras, and that's very sad. And I
but did you
don't
hear the
hope
news?
really the,
Did you hear the news?
the news that the UEFA decided something.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear because I really am not
I
so
don't
big
like
into football.
you're not big into football, but you were loud when you called for dismantleship of Romanian football. But it is like it is it is 15. It happened around 15 minutes ago. UEFA brought the final decision, and the so-called Kosovo is punished, and it lost the game 3-0. It's 3 to
You
0.
mean the beautiful Republic of Kosovo?
Okay, it's your you Gunter. You I
Just we need to talk
everybody
about the
knows.
same.
Everybody knows that you look at so-called Kosovo as a state. I don't. So we should not lose our time about is it state or is it not. So okay, but it lost
But then
three.
in the interview, I will also refer to so-called Serbia then.
I will refer as so-called Austria.
Okay, so-called
Okay,
Russian puppet Serbia.
so-called. But I think that you work for Russians, man.
Yeah, they put me in television. I was happy. In Russian state television, they featured me for 90 minutes. You only feature me for 1 hour, but the Russians featured me for 90 minutes.
Okay, how do you? Okay, that's the final decision from UEFA. 3-0, Romania won, and again, I think you had a wrong idea how UEFA is going to bring the decision. Why I said that? Because I want you to know that I followed you and I listened to you very good the last time we spoke. And basically, Gunter, everything that you have said in our last podcast, nothing happened. Like you missed basically everything, everything in our talk, every kind of analysis, every kind of prediction. You didn't get the one. I couldn't find a one that you were right. Do you want me to go back in time and tell you what did you said last year?
I said that we will win the war in Ukraine and Russia will be dismantled. Serbia will have a revolution and turn to the West, and Kosovo will be recognized by all other countries in Europe and the world, and the West will win. And all this will happen.
Okay,
Just
okay,
unfortunately not in 2024,
okay.
but long term,
But
certainly it will.
but how do you feel when I know that you have said we did it in November, the last podcast, and you said, Mario, we're going to celebrate a new year in free Crimea.
Yes, it will
And
be.
what happened?
It will be.
Did
We
you
will
mean
liberate Crimea. There's no doubt in my heart. We will
okay? But
definitely. Now the Americans have allowed the striking force of the American
I lost you for a second.
complex, and so it will be wonderful.
Hey, Gunter, please repeat because we lost the connection for a second.
Okay,
Please
we
repeat
will
what you said.
definitely liberate Crimea, and we will use the American rockets to destroy the Russian military complex, and it has already started. So now with these very good rockets, we can destroy the Russian military complex, and then we will have also these German Taurus or maybe the South Korean rockets. And with this, we will destroy the bridge. And once the bridge over to Crimea is destroyed, we can liberate Crimea as well. And this will definitely happen. Sadly, it takes longer because of Western appeasement and the lack of Western support for Ukraine. But the outcome, there's no doubt about it.
Okay, but last time you said that it's going to be liberated till New Year. Then I asked you on X, uh, are you celebrating New Year in Crimea? And you said it's going to happen till May. And May is like 6 months ago, 5 months ago. So now, do you have another prediction when it's going to happen?
I guess during March 2025, on the 16th of March 2025, during the referendum day, we will already be in Crimea.
Okay, I wrote it down. So I'm going to ask you again if you missed the date. When it
Exactly.
okay, so you mentioned that United States and United Kingdom gave the how can I put it? Gave the permission to Ukraine to use the long range missiles. Yeah, am I right?
Yes, very good. You remember in 99 when we destroyed the Danube bridges and the Sava bridges in Belgrade? This is my role model for the Crimea bridge. We did the destruction of the bridges in Belgrade, and then it was a peace. And the same is with Crimea bridge. We will destroy the bridge over the Crimea, and then the Russians will withdraw or will be captured, basically, or will all end in as prisoners of war.
Before my question, I want to ask you: do you remember when you killed innocent civilians in Serbia? Are you proud of that?
No, we never killed innocent civilians in
2,000 and
Serbia.
200 people died. Civilians died. You have to know that. It's not
You talk
propaganda.
about Milica Rakic again.
Not me. I didn't talk about Milica Rakic on our last show, but I'm not
You
just
know
Milica Rakic.
that
2,000 people died. Not
mo
military. Not military.
most of the people, they were military who died. And the civilians who died, this was a consequence of Milosevic genocidal action and the necessity to intervene by the Western forces into Serbia in order to bring you back towards a more peaceful behavior, which has not completely worked, unfortunately, but more or less it worked at least to withdraw from Kosovo and to sign the Kumanova agreement. And this kind of military interventions, unfortunately, also result in human casualties. I'm very sorry for everybody who lost their life, but nevertheless, the overall military action was absolutely justified and absolutely correct.
Yeah. Last time we talked.
100%.
Last time we talked, you also said that you are up for building a wall around Serbia. Are you still up for that?
Serbia in the last 2 months has actually behaved more nicely, I have the impression. And Mr. Vucic has
Vukic.
not made any attack on anybody. So I'm quite
So you
happy.
support you
And
support Vucic now, no?
yeah, but at least he's not attacking. Since 2.5 years, he's only threatening, talking about it. Seemingly, he is actually much more peaceful person than I've ever thought, or he's simply aware of the military power in the region, and so he doesn't dare to attack. Whatever, maybe he will do it in the future, but he will bear the consequences of any military action because Trump will definitely send him many, many missiles, and then he can send the new Generalstab to the family of Trump later, but I hope that there will be decency and no need for military intervention against Serbia ever again.
I know. I know that I know your ideas and I know your ideology, and I always say to people, if we have different opinions, one thing is for sure: we should not threaten each other. Maybe we can make some satire or make some memes or make something, but threatening like directly, it's not my style. I don't support people threatening anybody, even if it's you. I think that we should all talk, and this is why
Yes,
we're doing this. This is why we're doing it. We don't have the same ideology, but we can talk, and I think this is the example how how people can spend 1 hour talking, debating, discussing, and not kill each other.
I agree absolutely.
Yeah,
Who wants to
yeah.
kill each other? But Mr. Vucic has threatened war against Kosovo now, I think 7 times since 2021. 7 times. That was not very friendly. Luckily, he never did something, so there was no need to retaliate. But I just make it clear that, once military action is started by Serbia, there will be in-kind retaliation from NATO against Serbia. And that's not a threat. That's just a logical action after extreme behavior. And so I appeal to everybody not to use military force against Kosovo or Bosnia and stay good Europeans. And so we will live forever in happiness. And please, as General Clark recently said on his visit, recognize Kosovo, and we will all live in peace and happiness forever. And that's the best way for Serbia.
Okay, that's your point of view. I see people who are living in southern province of Serbia, Kosovo and Metohija, mostly Albanians that are living there, who used to live there, and they're basically find spending their lives finding a way to escape, to find some jobs in Western world. I see the population happening in Kosovo and Metohija. Do you know that people there don't have as much as work as they could?
Vienna is full of Serbs. We have about 350. In Austria, we have about 120,000 Albanians. Everybody is welcome to make a better life in the European Union. And I encourage everybody who wants to come and contribute to our prosperity and to his prosperity is welcome to come. That's the Europe of freedom. And recently, when I was in Kosovo, actually, there was a huge economic boom, and the data is very, very good. Even when considerable amounts of people have left now after visa liberalization, the economy is actually going quite well and the wages are rising. And several people will also return to Kosovo because Kosovo, there's a lot of consent of the people that all Kosovo must be developed very well. And when you go to Peja or to Prizren, it's actually boom towns, Ferisaj especially, and if Mitrovica and Chilan are booming, and Pristina is anyhow looking more and more like New York with all these big
Yeah,
sky
no,
towers.
okay,
And
okay,
you would
okay,
be so
okay.
surprised to see this kind of wonderland of magic, which Albin Kurti
Dude.
is now steering to success. And you will be so surprised and you will be very welcome because contrary to what you think, you would be very popular in Pristina. You come, you make a show, everybody would love to see you. And to
will I
tease you
be
a little
safe?
bit,
Would I be
yes, it's
safe?
absolutely safe. It's more
Nobody will
safer
kill me.
than nobody will kill you.
I know
Nobody
because
cares.
I have a lot of people threatening me
Nobody wants to kill
with
you. Nobody
because
wants to harm you. Not
but
even,
who
for example, Serbs in the streets of Vienna, they want to spit in front of me on the road. And it happened
but
recently.
listen, Gunter, you
But
have
this
to know
will
one
not
thing.
happen in Kosovo for sure,
Listen,
100%. Everybody
listen,
will say,
Gunter,
hey, Mario, you're at least entertaining.
you have listen, please. One thing that you have to know, if it weren't for Serbians, uh, Austria wouldn't have a democracy. So basically,
Really?
we liberated Austria since Gavrilo Princip, no?
And why do you vote now all for Kickl and for the Russian party in Austria? What's this?
I didn't vote for. I don't have your passport, so I can't
But
vote.
many of the Serbs here did that, and that's not very good. And
I
so,
don't know. I know that you had. I know that you had. Also during our last talk, you told me that FPO, I don't know
yeah,
the
that's
name. Yeah,
Friends
that
of Putin. You can remember Friends of Putin in Austria, FPÖ,
Kiko Herbert.
Kickl.
Yeah, yeah, and they won. Am I right? They have won on the
They
elections.
have the
And
majority in the parliament now.
okay, and now what is going to happen to Austria?
We will exclude them from the power. All
How?
other parties will work together and that they will not be in the government.
Yeah, but also you have to consider that a lot of people vote for them. A lot of Austrians vote for them. You cannot expel the people. Yeah.
No, 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 we cannot expel, obviously. But what we will do is we will exclude them from the leverages of power on the national level. On the regional level, they are very much included in many of the regions of Austria. They empower from, I think, in 4 regions at the moment in our regional authorities. But on national levels, because of the foreign policy mainly, because they are very hostile towards Ukraine and very much secretly in the pocket of Putin, and so we don't like that, and we will not give them any kind of access to federal power, to national power in Austria. They will be
Okay,
in the
but
parliament. They have the parliament speaker now. That's even not good, but that's in democracy is the case, but nothing further than that.
okay, but also we talked about elections in Slovakia that happened in Fico won. Am I right? Yeah.
It was a very big tragedy. We have very good reformers in Slovakia, but Orban's money and Orban's influence on all these media proxies, they have led to this kind of socialist nationalist Fico pro-Putin to be in power. It's a tragedy.
Okay, but when it comes to assassination or attempt on Fico, is that also a tragedy for you?
That was obviously a tragedy, and I wish him nothing personal harm. I don't know the gentleman, but his politics are bad, and I wish him an electoral defeat, but not a violent defeat.
But I can hear you talking. Last time when we talked, you were more radical. Something happened. You went to some kind of seminar, to some kind of school.
I was always a nice guy.
But you had like
I
I
was
can't hear you like some.
I was
You,
50 times in Serbia to promote democracy. I was always calling, democratic Serbia join NATO, EU, and the euro. I
I
was
know
making the
that.
offer
I
in
know
the
that.
media to offer you the euro as currency for exchange of Kosovo recognition. I always say for the triple NATO accession of Serbia, Kosovo, and Bosnia to make eternal peace on the Balkan.
But you
I'm
also
very much
called.
pro-Serbian. And
But
there are
you
many Serbian opposition leaders who think that I'm a nice guy, actually.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
And they have
Vucic
they
and the nationalists who don't like me, and
yeah,
they
yeah,
make
yeah,
me
yeah.
the boogeyman in your nation, but it's undeserved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But those guys that are supporting you from Serbia, they have like I don't know if their mothers or children are voting for them on the elections.
But you're
You know,
offending always my dear friend Nikola Sandulovic, who is in my
who is
view.
that?
Yeah, you know very well. He's the guy with beer, and you're a bullying guy, and this shadowy figure of Russian
Nikola
influence.
Sandulovic. Okay,
Nicolas Antulovic is very good, yeah. And your bullying
I
guy
don't.
has beaten him up last year in the winter because he went to Kosovo. And I made a press conference in Vienna of joint NATO membership of Serbia, Kosovo, and Austria. And then your media, your informer, called me Dries Lasha Kuche, that I have to go to the madhouse. But in
That's not
reality,
media, Gunter. That media that you used to that informer, that's not media. That's the media of your guy Alexander Vucic, who is pro European Union.
he's not my guy. I tried to expel him from the EPP a long time, and he
But
should
yeah,
be expelled.
people will think that because you have the same goals as Vucic, because Vucic told that Serbia is going to finish all the clusters, all the goals that European Commission has put in front of Serbia till 2026. So you have the same ideology.
No,
European
he's very
Union is
much
an idea.
against Kosovo. He is blockading the dialogue process with Pristina. He is not ready for recognition. He is not ready to join NATO. What's Vucic, my guy? He is Orban's guy. He's Putin's guy. You know very well.
Oh,
You know very well that
oh.
Vucic and Putin have this love affair, and basically Putin put Vucic in power in 2012-13 after his return, and he has controlling the Serbian economy and politics ever since.
But
And
I
he's
see
definitely not my guy.
But I see American ambassador from Serbia like hanging out with Vucic. Is
Yeah.
American ambassador working for Russians?
No, but it's basically a blackmail because
Aha, okay.
Vucic says to the Americans and the Europeans, after me is the flooding and the nationalists and the extreme guys. So it's better to work with me, even when I don't recognize Kosovo, because at least I deliver you ammunition for Ukraine, and at least I try to control the nationalist hardliners in my country with the police. Yeah, and so he is basically blackmailing the West that he could be even much closer to Russia, and so the West says, okay, let's play the game. We are nice to you. And you are delivering at least no kind of major damage and you don't start a war. And that's the balancing act Vucic does. And we basically, our diplomats fall for it. I'm
Yeah.
very much for a harder confrontation with Vucic.
Please tell me. I know that people who are like pro NATO, like yourself, like pro Ukraine, pro vaccines, pro climate change, pro Greta Thunberg and stuff, like we are all going to die because of cows
That's a
are
big
farting.
list.
It's a big list. Somebody can say it's some kind of like some kind of mental issues that some people have because of hysteria and the fascism that we can see from the ones who want to put those kind of narratives in front of us. But you are also known as somebody who easily labels people to be Putin's assets or working for Russians only if they are not having the same opinion as you. Why does it have to be like that? Why does somebody have to work for somebody to support somebody else that you don't like?
No, yeah,
It's
if
no.
you are against Ukraine and if you don't deliver weapons to Ukraine, you are supporting Putin. I don't know if they get money from it or if they have some ideological belief in Putin or if they love Russia more than Europe. But I say it's fine if you do that, yeah. But then please don't join the European Union. If you're not ready for Europe, then you don't join. And Serbia actually is not ready for the European Union
Serbia
because
will never be
you are
ready.
far away.
Serbia will never be ready. If you ask me,
Okay,
Serbia will
goodbye.
never be ready.
We take Kosovo and we take
You,
Bosnia inside, and they will have a veto against you. It will be a wonderful situation.
but you know who is living in Bosnia and Herzegovina, that's like 47% are Serbians, hardcore Serbians, dude.
It's about 30%. It's less and less because we have more Bosnian Serbs in Vienna already than in Banja Luka.
But yeah, because we have to keep the democracy in Austria safe. Gunter, Gunter, please.
Everybody is welcome.
You also labeled few times. You also labeled Elon Musk to be a Russian asset. No, am I right?
Not, I don't say that he gets money from Russia because he has a lot of money, but he has very bizarre political views. And in certain occasions, he shut down the Starlink over Ukraine in 2022 when we were at the winning streak on the Kherson front, probably in coordination with the American State Department. But nevertheless, yeah, I really don't like his links to Putin. And he is, of course, very questionable in his politics. I love his rockets, though, and I love his cars. So there's a mix on it. And I love his Twitter, but I
You love
think he
Twitter.
should focus more on technology than less on politics. That's my
Okay,
regard
but
to Elon.
maybe I can say to you, maybe somebody who is watching can say, Gunter, you should not be in politics. You should go and I don't know
To the moon.
keep the goats safe, from Albanians. Maybe somebody can give you that
The
kind of
Serbs,
idea.
I recently read that the Serbs have an issue with the goats in some farming
No.
village.
Yeah, you
No?
found a screenshot that it's for English use, for the
Okay.
people from United Kingdom. But I ask you this because I saw, and it's a trend that leftists. I cannot call you a leftist because I know that your family tree is more tied to Nazis. You
Thanks a
know,
lot for that.
yeah, but it's the DNA of the core
So
of
you
your
think
family.
everybody who lived in Germany today and is automatically genetically a
No,
Nazi?
no. But
Thanks for that.
when I see somebody promoting hardcore politics like bomb Serbia, dismantle this, dismantle that, I I can hear the bells ringing. Run away to
Really?
the run to the cover because Nazis are coming.
Like like the Ukrainians are running now under the Putin's bombs every day.
But I'm sorry, really, I'm really sorry for those people.
Good.
I know what bombing is. I know what bombing is, and you said we bombed you, like you bombed
Did
us. Yeah.
did
Yeah.
the Ukrainians commit any genocide against the Kosovo Albanians or the Crim Tatars or against
No,
the
we
Russians?
we didn't we didn't commit
I
any
don't
kind of
think so.
genocide.
Yes, you did. You
No,
killed
no, it's
10,000 of
not a
people
genocide.
in
War
Bosnia and
crimes.
in Kosovo. You did
Listen,
a lot of war crimes and you have never apologized. And
l-
even
l-
now, today, there are thousands of unidentified bodies in the Serbian ground from Bosnia and from Kosovo, and you have to disclose the whereabouts of these missing people. You have
dude,
to confess your sins, you have to repent, you have to pay reparations and financial damages, and you have also to somehow do for all the damage you did in Kosovo and Bosnia
okay,
some
when
really
NATO,
long-term apology.
when is NATO going to pay for the damage it caused in Serbia during the bombing?
It was certainly much lower than the damage you did in Kosovo and Bosnia
I don't have the
at
stats
hundreds and
as you.
thousands of lives.
We don't have the stats. I don't have the stats. You don't have the stats now how
And you
about the
started. You are the
damages.
aggressor. Serbia is the
Then
aggressor state, the genocidal Serbia.
it's your opinion. Western politicians watched the UCK, as we say, PLO. I don't know what it's called in English. They they looked at that organization from Kosovo and Metohija, the Albanians, as terrorist organization, and then they changed their mind. I know that we can live in peace. That's the one thing.
Under NATO nuclear
Yeah,
umbrella, we can live in peace.
now you see, you're like so much pro NATO that you're sometimes I can see you calling your country Austria is not a part of NATO. Yeah, am I right?
Sadly, yeah, that's a problem. Mostly
Yeah,
because the Serbs love neutrality who live here.
yeah. Most of it because Serbs are the bringers of the fathers of democracy in Austria. But uh, look at this. I if we don't go towards peace, and I think that from your point of view, uh, you cannot see the peace until some country is destroyed. I can see a peace before anybody gets hurt badly. Do you think that there is a space for peace talks in Ukraine, or are you up for the nuclear war? Are you up for the war with Russia, the open war between Western countries and Russia?
We need NATO membership for Ukraine. That's the only way for peace. And that's the most important. So first is NATO membership for Ukraine. And best would be to put nuclear weapons into Ukraine, like we have put it into Western Germany. And that's basically the guarantee that Russia will never come back into Ukraine. So that's the first thing. I don't
Okay,
want
okay.
nuclear war, and I can tell you it will never happen because our American nuclear weapons, they work very well. And the Russian weapons don't work very well. And we can destroy most of the Russian weapons at the silo, at the moment of launch, yeah. And Russia will explode, and we will survive. And Putin knows that very well, yeah. So the destruction of nuclear dimension will not happen because simply Russia will be totally destroyed in case they even come close to pulling any trigger of a nuclear weapon. So I'm not afraid of that, but I say it's of course very bad outcome because I also don't want to destroy all of Russia. So I warn the Russians, don't use nuclear weapons because you will not survive it at all.
Mhm. But what do you think it will come now after these decisions from United States, that guy Joseph Biden, and UK gave the go for using the long
What will
range
come is we
missiles.
will supply
Long.
Ukraine now with a lot of weapons, and they will be able to use it also in Russia. And so we will destroy the North Korean accumulation of troops in Kursk and also the army which Russia has assembled there. And then it also will be the liberation of Crimea coming, and also in Donbass, the rockets and also the counterstrike now in the winter offensive will be very much successful. Additionally,
Oh,
we will destroy the Russian energy infrastructure, the Russian military defense infrastructure, the Russian industrial capacity, and Russia is basically at the brink of collapse. And later, I hope we will recognize the many new countries like Chechnya and Tatarstan and all the others. Yeah, I have made the list of 41 on my Twitter account. Everybody can see. And then we will live in peace and harmony with everybody in the world. And the Russians will be organized like Yugoslavia in many small states, 7 in the case of Yugoslavia, 41 in the case of Russia because it's much bigger. And then people like we will come to build up every of these new republics, like in Serbia, like in Montenegro, like in Macedonia, like in Kosovo. This will be many countries to learn. You know, there is Tatarstan and Bashkortostan and Kalmykiistan and all these countries. And we will learn them, we will develop them, and they will be peaceful countries and members of the world community, market democracies where freedom rules and the rule of law is given. And there will be very good contribution. It will be a wonderful period in the future.
okay, but it cannot happen without victims. You know, you cannot do it with rockets. You
No,
have to send.
rockets,
You
what
have
we
to
do with
send.
rockets, we destroyed the Russian military strength, which we have basically already destroyed. The Russian army basically is destroyed already and defeated.
Do you have? Okay, but you talked with me last year. I'm listening 2 years, 3 years for now that Russia is going to fall, that Putin is going to run away, that Putin is going to die because he's sick, that Ukrainian counteroffensive, summer one, well, first offensive, second offensive. Now you are talking about winter counteroffensive from Ukraine. Is that going to happen?
I think so. And I think it's often very surprises that things happen very fast. Nobody was expecting Ukraine to go into Kursk, into Russian territory. It happened. And now with the new end of the limitations of the arms use and more supplies are coming in the background towards Ukraine, I would expect that the military balance will shift very fast in the favor of Ukraine. And the Russians are basically losing now 2,000 men per day. It's the highest and most bloody month in the whole war in the October 2024 for Russia. And of course, it's a gigantic loss of material resources, rockets. One rocket strike was costing 600 million euros in one night. They have basically destroyed some energy stuff and 10 people. So imagine 600 million. They cannot repeat this. And that speed of war, they cannot keep up. And they will simply, we can compare it to the Second World War. They are now in this desperate race of 1944, when the German Nazis were also thinking they were very strong and made Ardennes offensives and all these things. But in reality, they have long lost the war already. And Russia is in that status.
Okay, would you be ready if some global war happened to go to the front lines?
There will be no global war, and I'm unfortunately already 56, and I'm not in the fighting condition, man. I think. Thanks a lot.
Gunter,
I'm actually relatively
fit. Man. I saw some photos. You know, you in gym, you're like fit. You're fit than 90% of 25-year-olds in Europe.
Yeah, Mario, get in shape, because I can guarantee you one thing. When the Serbian army crosses into the Kosovo border, I will go to defend Kosovo.
Okay, so let's take it clear. You would go to war against Serbia.
No, for the defense of Kosovo.
But you would go to war against Serbia.
No, I'm a peaceful man, and I'm too old to fight.
But you just said it.
If you go, I might go as well. I have to be careful because you put it on the media, so I must be very careful because I'm such a friendly person.
I told you.
I stick to what I said. Okay, don't go to Kosovo. Don't cross the border militarily.
But what about Ukraine? You will go. You wouldn't go and follow the steps of your grandfathers and go to Eastern Front.
To Eastern Front?
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm not going.
But
I'm a bit afraid of that because
does Europe? This is the serious question, because I'm looking at the NATO countries. I look at the population in Western Europe, in Germany, in France, Sweden. I can't see that there is a military personnel that is ready for any kind of confrontation, face-to-face confrontation, the regular war, besides rockets and airplanes. I can't see the manpower. Do you see the manpower in NATO?
Mario, in 1916, the American United States Army had about 10,000 men. In 1918, 2 years later, when they entered the war, they had 2 million people in Europe already.
Okay, Gunter, I understand.
So it's also a question of mobilization. If you think that we are weak or incapable, I have to disappoint you that this is absolutely nonsensical. We are absolutely ready to defend ourselves, and we are, in the case of necessary, and it's not decided, I don't think it will be necessary, yeah? But obviously, in case it's necessary, we will also defend Ukraine.
Okay, Gunter, but listen, let's get this straight, because I know that you are not 100% woke. Am I right? You're not like 100% woke guy. Like that kind of ideology is not close to you so much.
I'm actually a center right-wing political thinker that since 35 years. I was always in the center right, that is conservative, Christian Democrat, libertarian, liberal, and I'm not what you say now woke, or
I know that you are not socialist. Woke.
I'm not a nationalist. I'm basically the center of the rationality and of the European reason, I would say. Absolutely. And I'm very happy.
You know why I said that? You know why I said that? I said that because the people in the Western Europe who are supporting Ukraine in this war against Russia, in this big war, those people are like all hippies, dude. There is the nationalists from all the countries are on the
How
Russian
is
side.
Joe Biden a hippie?
No, no, no. I'm talking
How
about
is
Europe.
Ursula von der Leyen a hippie?
Yeah, yeah. But do you you know what I'm talking about? When you see them on the
Everybody in
streets,
the center stands with Ukraine. The liberals, the Greens, the Social Democrats, the Christian Democrats, the Conservatives. Yeah. We have a broad
transgenders,
coalition
you know.
from
Yeah, yeah.
Meloni to Ursula von der Leyen to the Spanish to the Polish, all across the party spectrum. Everybody beside the extreme left of Wagenknecht and the AfD or the FPÖ who are in the pocket of Russia, they are against Ukraine. But and everybody else is absolutely in the center is holding and it's strong and we support Ukraine and we will win.
Yeah, but
We always win.
those are you always win. Did you won the Second World War?
Yes, the West has won. The free Western
Yeah.
world has won, obviously.
But did you won?
And
Did
I'm
Austria
part
won?
of that. Yeah, you think more in some kind of ethnic Narodny bloodline of yourself with your grandfathers being in a kind of ethnic kind of bond. Yeah, we in generally see ourselves now as part of the free Western world, and our grandfathers have committed very terrible crimes for which also on this show I have already excused myself
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I apologized for the crimes of the
Yes, you
First World
did.
War, of the
Yes,
Second World War, and I do that again. But you
yes, you
know, there
did.
is no kind of political continuity which is genetically inherited. Yeah? You don't inherit politics via your genetics. Yeah? It's not like that. You know, when my
I
grandfather did a crime or my great grandfather did a crime, you are not forever criminally liable.
But look
And
at this.
also,
Your
we have
grandfather,
chosen our
your grand
political
Gunter,
allegiation to be part
Gunter,
of the free world. Serbia
Gunter,
can do
your
the same. You can
okay,
choose freedom.
Gunter, Gunter, okay. But your grandfather went to war against Russia, and now you are in the war against Russia. So don't tell me that it's not in the bloodline.
There, absolutely, it's not in the bloodline. That has nothing
How
to do
it's
with
history is
genetics.
repeating. Yeah, yeah, but
It's nothing to
something
do with
history.
genetics and nothing with history repeating. It's no German soldier
But
moving into. It's a total different situation.
but it's the
There is no
German tanks
Nazi
moving into.
empire in Europe. We are free market democracies. We are part of the Western free world. Yeah? And
So
we
you okay,
have
okay, okay, okay,
learned
okay,
from the past. Yeah?
okay,
We are
okay.
part of NATO, EU, and the West. Yeah? And now the Russians have started the evil war of conquest against the Ukrainian, if you want to say, brothers. They wanted to have territory, they wanted to punish them, and they wanted to protect, to hinder their Western integration. So the evil started at that point and from the east, yeah. And so they have done an attack, and we have helped the Ukrainians. And there was no
Okay,
Western intrigue or intervention. It was basically Putin starting their own war, which he is losing, and he will be defeated by his own war, which he started. And there's nothing Nazi about it. There's nothing connected with World War II, but geography. You can talk about
geography.
geography and genetics, but it's not rational to argument in that way. It's not justified to argue in that way. It's a kind of confused table for drinking. In the evening you can say, "All Germans are Nazis and the Austrians are their brothers." Yeah, and Putin is a good man. I know that some people in Serbia discuss like this, but there is no intellectual basis for that. There's no historic basis. There's no ideological basis for that, and it's simply very low level approaching. Oh, the Germans, oh, they speak German, and they're the same like Nazis. You
Okay,
can say
Gunter.
that,
Okay,
but
okay,
it's
Gunter.
not
Okay,
true,
okay,
and it
okay,
doesn't stand up to any testing. And we are talking about the 2022 aggression of Putin, and this is the fact. And we will defend the Ukrainians as long as it takes. And gradually, we will put more resources there, and more money, and more weapons, and more authority. And Putin ultimately has no chance but surrender and giving up. And he will. And he will pay an ultimate price as a war criminal. He will be always the outcast of the world society, and there is no way back for him. And then ultimately the Russian people will rise against him, similar like on the 5th of October, the Serbian people have risen against the Milosevic regime, and the
You
same will
said that
happen.
last year. All you said you thought that is going to happen like 2 years ago. Everybody talk about it. Okay, you have your point of view. I understand. I understand you completely. But when we talk about history, don't talk. You're talking about all the Serbians are like blah 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 German Nazis. But dude, you guys killed like millions of us. What do
You
you
guys,
want?
you mean me?
Yeah, your grandfathers killed
Exactly.
millions
So,
of Serbians.
so
Oh,
these are events which are 80 years ago, and I
yeah,
have apologized already.
but
But
okay,
it's
but who cares about an apology, dude? Like,
okay.
what? I kill you and I say I'm sorry. Like, what's that?
Oh,
That's like
you
too much.
can
I
not.
understand that you are not in that kind of politics. I know that majority of Austrians are not Nazis, and I know that. You don't have to
Actually,
tell
not
me.
even the FPÖ are Nazis anymore. Yeah. So let's be very clear. There's not a question
But
of majority. It's a not.
would you
It's not
the
existing.
history the history, it seems like history is repeating it. It's not like somebody is drinking in the bar and like talking and making shit up. It looks like the history is repeating, and this is why I told you that again, you have Germans on one side and Russians on other side, and this is
No,
that's the
it's
bond.
it's the
That's the
Russian
bond.
on the one side and Ukrainians on the other side. Where are the Germans in that?
Germans are sending weapons and money, no?
The Serbs are sending weapons to Ukraine.
That's the question for your friend Alexander Vucic, not for me.
And I'm responsible for what the German government does.
No, but this is no, 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 of course you are not responsible directly, but
So if
if
you
you
say
support if you
the
support
Germans are
that,
involved, I
Gunter,
say the Serbs are involved.
no, no, but if
It's
you
the same
support
logic.
that, yeah, but if you support it
Your
and you do
weapons
support,
factories in Kragujevac and in Sapac and all these places where you
so
have this
you're talking,
Yugoslavian weapons
Gunter,
factory, and you are in Smederevo, you are in full capacity running now for the Ukrainian war effort. So does it
Gunter,
mean that whole of Serbia is responsible and there's a Serbian-Russian war?
I think that let me just be clear. You can say I'm sorry 1,000 times. You can say we apologized. But please, you can hold that fake flag behind you like you did it last time. This time you got it right. It's not going to fall down. Maybe it's going to happen
I
for you.
learn, I improve.
Yeah, listen. But when I hear a German or Austrian uh, talking about my town that I'm living in, my city of Kragujevac, where you killed children that went to school, that you, but the Nazis
You,
From
I'm
Austria
born in
and German.
1968.
No. I told you, not you, but
And
your
I personally
people.
didn't kill anybody for sure.
Gunter, I have told you, not you exactly, but
But you
your
said you.
ancestors of your people killed children in Kragujevac. Do you remember? Do you know that fact from history?
Yes, I actually know, and it's a tragedy.
And it's a tragedy. So tragedy, what is going on in Ukraine? Oh, it's a tragedy. We can call it that way,
Yeah,
yeah?
Putin is a genocidal guy, like
Man,
Hitler and like Milosevic. You
it's a
can put them in
tragedy.
the same chamber in the hell.
No, it's a tragedy.
Putin, Hitler, Milosevic, they are killers.
Oh, but it's a tragedy, Gunter. It is just a tragedy, and it really is a tragedy. What is happening to Ukrainian people? So much people died. So much people without legs. Like 5 million. How much Ukrainian ran away from the war? How much of them died? Full cemeteries. That's the tragedy. I don't see that Ukraine is going to rebuild itself without the manpower. Do they?
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
see. I
We
don't
will
see any
definitely
country
rebuild Ukraine.
any country without the man. It's hard to be to rebuild it. But let's jump to another question, because I know that you don't have as much time as we want. I
We
want
can
to ask
always
you.
talk, and I can another 20 minutes, but at
Yeah, I
5:30 I
I
have to leave.
yeah I have to ask you about the Trump administration. I have to ask you because you basically all the pro-Ukrainian people, pro-NATO people were against Donald Trump. You were against the Donald Trump. You supported Kamala, and am I right?
Absolutely. I supported, I was against Trump in 2016, 2020, 2024, because
And
I'm a
now,
conservative, but I don't like his anti-NATO and anti-Western unity. And yeah, I don't like his populism, and I don't like his links to Russia. And that's why I opposed him.
how do you feel about Trump winning?
Look, I
What's your
feel
thoughts?
relatively good because Trump has appointed Marco Rubio, who I like very much. I was very happy. And he has appointed this, I think he's called Mike or Matthew Waltz for security advisor. And he's very good. So in general, I feel very good about Trump's presidency now because he has made the right signals towards Ukraine. And ultimately, the American establishment will defend Ukraine. And Trump ultimately is a winner. He wants to
So
win
you
the
think
war in Ukraine, and I'm looking forward for
so?
victory.
Okay. So you think that he is going to continue the Biden policy of supporting Ukraine?
I hope he will change it because Biden was very typical Democratic Party, very soft and very appeasement. And he had always the hope that he can control things and limit the arms supply. And he has given relatively little money and relatively little weapons and always with very strong limitations. Because in reality, without Biden and Jack Sullivan intervening in October 2022, we could have captured a whole army of the Russian soldiers, 20,000 soldiers in Kherson, and put them into prisoners of war camp. And that would have been wonderful leverage for the continuation of the war. And if we had more weapons in 2022 already, then we could have liberated as well the nuclear power plant and significant parts. Even maybe Mariupol would have been liberated if Jack Sullivan would not have been somehow intimidated while Putin was somehow triggering around the nuclear button in October 2022 because his army was completely failing. And then it took another year of efforts. And then in the meantime, the Russians have digged in and have built a huge defensive line in the south of Ukraine. And we could not really overcome that in 2023, also because they destroyed a huge hydropower dam and made a huge ecological disaster in that region. But nevertheless, with Trump, I think he is a winner and he will not do this nitty gritty small scale game. He will give Ukraine whatever it needs to win, and then Putin will negotiate.
So if we see Donald Trump Jr. commenting and trolling Zelensky, if we see Elon Musk commenting on Zelensky's podcast, and the thing that the things that they are saying is like, a little guy, like, forget about us. How do you think
Yes,
about what you said?
politics is of course a complicated game. You have a lot of promises during election campaign, but I want to remind you that Mr. President Wilson, he has campaigned in 1916 that he will not intervene in the European First World War. And in April 1917, he declared war on Germany. And he
But you just
intervened with 2 million people. Just let me
yeah,
give you the history. And in 1940, Roosevelt, the president of America, he has campaigned that he will not enter the World War II. And 1 year later, or 1.5 years later, he was basically declaring war on Germany declared war on America, actually, in December after Pearl Harbor. And so America won this war as well. And the Americans wanted to basically they have withdrawn after the end of the Second World War, just to make the last argument. And millions of American troops have left the European continent in 1945. Then the Russians took over all over Eastern Europe and threatened Western Europe as well. And then the Americans, with the foundation of NATO, came back with hundreds and thousands of soldiers and nuclear weapons and defended Europe against the Soviet Union. So, and America didn't want to intervene in Croatia, in Bosnia, in Kosovo. America was very, very reluctant to intervene in all the Balkan wars, just to make the case here. And ultimately, America had to intervene. So I'm quite confident the more this war escalates, ultimately America will come back and America will be intervening very hard and Putin will be very surprised. And the first signal that I'm right on that one was already the release of this kind of usage limits with the ATACMS. And you will see more of this coming because
it is from the
the
Biden.
Americans want to win.
Biden did it.
They are not in
Listen,
losing.
but 15 minutes ago you said that it's stupid to compare history to current situation.
You can learn from history. We
Yeah, but
Germans have learned, and the Austrians have learned. I'm an Austrian, but the Serbs should learn from history. That would be
um,
really good. Start with an
okay.
apologize for your genocide.
Yeah, but start thanking us for liberating Austria from monarchy. for bringing democracy to Austria. Yeah, just say one time, just say thank you, Serbia.
You know that I'm strongly convinced that Serbia and Russia are responsible for World War One, because you have basically created this catastrophe by plotting and killing and assassinating our crown prince in Sarajevo 1914. So whenever anybody has military and political historic responsibility for millions and millions of deaths, it's certainly these circles who have coordinated the killing of the Archduke in 1914.
But people, so you basically what you have said is like you dismantled our empire, which was not right, because you do not own, Austria does not own or Croatia or Serbia or Bosnia. Are you sad because Austria is not holding these countries?
No, I'm
So
basically now neither in any monarchistic view, or something else. But I say it was a big disaster, and it was, of course, a big disaster. The First World War was a big disaster, and it was plotted
but
by
we
the Secret Service of Serbia and of Russia in
but we
1914.
but
And
Europe
actually, we
Europe
have
was finally
liberated all these regions. You know, we have not
we
occupied them,
liberated it.
but we have liberated it from the Ottoman Empire. The
But
reason why
we
Austria
liberated
has been
it.
governing places like Croatia or Hungary or Bosnia is because we have liberated it from the Ottoman Empire.
You liberated it and took it,
Yes.
underneath your pawn. You liberated it and then you locked it up. If you
Not
liberate
exactly
somebody,
me.
no, okay, Austrians
No.
liberated it.
Yeah,
Okay, Gunter,
the Habsburg monarchy.
I hope that you know that I really do not think that you were born in 1901. So yeah, you don't
I'm looking
you
quite old.
no, you are not. No, you are not. You should start giving like advices on Twitter, on X, because a lot of people are leaving. The people from your point of view, your side, if I can put it that way,
No,
are
I'm
leaving.
not a left-wing guy.
Yeah, but Nenad Čanak, he left. He's like
Who
your
is
guy
that?
from Serbia. Nenad Čanak, the guy who is like
Uh,
for independent Vojvodina, the guy who was in the politics. You don't know who Nenad Čanak is, man.
yeah, I
Am I
think I
right?
know him. He is the bald guy who is a television commentator. I have followed him on Twitter.
He left Twitter. Everybody is leaving Twitter. You're going to be alone on Twitter. Only Albanians are going to follow you.
Fine. Then I will dominate the global opinion market, and the Serbs
Okay,
will be alone at blue sky. Bye.
look. Hey, tell me, please. When we talk about situation in Middle East, for example. Okay, yeah, I forgot about it. I saw you waving the flag of Israel,
Yes,
and you took pictures with it, and you openly support Israel. In
my
in
Israeli friends and me, we were proudly carrying the Israeli flag through
Okay, okay,
Vienna
okay, and
last week.
you support the Israel in war against civilians in Gaza
Yes, yes,
and Hamas.
yes.
Okay, uh, when it comes to number of victims, civilian victims in Gaza, uh, how do you explain that? What's the word that we can use for that kind of? Can I call it? And I will call it war crimes.
The Hamas has committed a war crime on the 7th of October and a
Okay,
terrible
yes,
genocide.
of
Yeah,
course.
that was
No, it cannot. It is not genocide.
it,
It is a
it is.
terrible crime.
We can discuss about the terms, but it was a
Okay.
terrible terrorist attack against the Israeli
Yes.
state. There was no
Yes.
reason, no provocation. It was
Okay.
basically orchestrated on the birthday of Putin in order to distract the Western global opinion from the war in Ukraine. This is
So
what the
it's
Russians always do,
good.
because you can go back in history from the Suez crisis, all the time. When there is a crisis in Eastern Europe, they want to kill some Eastern Europeans. They create the crisis in the Middle East. Yeah, that playbook we have well understood.
Gunter, you just said that it was orchestrated on Putin's birthday, man. Are you
Yes, exactly.
seriously going that far away?
Absolutely. It is like
Like,
that. This was the
like,
birthday president. They always kill
fuck, man.
somebody on some of his enemies. The
But,
journalist,
but do you know?
Politkovskaya, she was killed on the birthday, shot
But
down in
But
Moscow to make
do you
Putin
know
the
that? Do
birthday
you know
president.
that 40 close friends of Clinton accidentally hanged themselves?
I never heard that, and that sounds a bit crazy. Yeah,
Do
you're
you
going
do
now
you?
into the conspiracy theories
No, no,
here.
no. But your conspiracy theory, you're telling me. I can't believe that I heard somebody say that Hamas did an attack on Israel, killing
Absolutely.
a lot of
Hamas
people
is a
because
Iranian proxy, and
I know
Iran is
that
one-to-one the ally in the axis of evil
counter.
with Russia.
But how can you say that it is somebody's birthday present, man? It's a little bit.
It's like that.
Okay, okay. But how would you call it? What is happening to the civilians? How many? More than 40,000 civilians died.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Of course,
And
it's not appropriate use of force of the Israeli army in Gaza, and I'm a big advocate of the so-called two-state solution inside NATO. So again, also on this show, I call for Israel to join NATO and for independent Palestine to join NATO as a demilitarized state, and Gaza to be returned under the Palestinian Authority as a NATO member and also demilitarized. And this must happen after the defeat of Hamas. And
okay,
that the defeat
but
of Hamas will now be imminent, I think so, more or less militarily they are broken. That's, of course, very good. And I'm very sorry for all the civilian victims which there happened. And that's, of course, far not appropriate use of force. And the EU has already condemned that on several occasions. But nevertheless, it all started on 7th of October, and that was a coordinated counterattack by the axis of resistance. I call it the axis of evil, Russia, Iran, because Hamas and also the Hezbollah are their proxy elements in the Middle East, and they have basically started this war.
but is that because I know that you are always talking about Serbs committing a genocide against the
Yeah.
Muslim population in
Please don't
Bosnia?
do it again, or we will have to bomb you again. You know
Please
that.
don't put us. Please don't put us in camps
No, we don't
or
put
kill our
anybody in
children.
camps. This is what
Please
you
don't.
do. You put
Please don't
people
put
in
us.
camps.
Please don't put
You kill
us.
Albanians. You kill
Please,
Bosnians.
please don't put
We
us
don't
in
do that.
camps together with Jewish population. Please don't kill Serbs and Jews. Please.
That's what the Serbs normally do. You even killed
No.
Jews in the Bosnian War, I heard.
Okay,
Yeah?
now you're.
That's very brutal. And I hope
Listen.
that you apologize for all the crimes of the Serbian nation, as I have
I
apologized
hope.
for.
I just hope that we don't have camps. I heard you also on this show talking about putting some military, some army into camps in Ukraine. You always talk
In
about some
prisoner of
camps.
war camps. Yeah, no, we have no, the ones who put people in camps were the Serbs in the village. I think it was called not Magadan. It was I was there, and you can see it on my video podcast. I go to all the crime places where the Serbs killed the Bosnians in 92. This is the north of Sarajevo. Uh, Do, Domagar. I don't know the name exactly now. It was
I'm
a
trying to
terrible.
remember. I'm trying to remember
Um,
the name, but
it was a
it doesn't come
mining
to my mind.
village, and you put many people to terrible conditions, and you killed so many.
Yeah,
So
but
the
how do
camp
you feel
thing,
about that?
the
Listen,
camp.
how do you feel
Oh
about
man,
this? This is the fact. I go to
yeah,
Sarajevo and to Bosnia like 10 times a year.
very good. It's beautiful,
Right?
and it's
I
freedom, and it's lovely. They don't
Gunter,
harass nobody. They are very
Gunter.
happy. It's very different than in Belgrade when you are harassed as an Austrian and put as a Nazi bastard on kind of reclame posters, as it happened to
Oh,
me.
it's not my kind of way. How would I talk with you or deal with you or
Thanks a
discuss
lot.
with you? Because that other side, we talked about that other side, but
It's the
let's
UTPA, the UTPA.
let's leave them aside. Like I think that they don't have the power to animate the people. They can just use like censorship and stuff and the hysteria that they have in the media. But I just want to tell you, I'm a regular visitor. I have a lot of friends in Sarajevo, a lot of friends in Visoko, a lot of friends Muslim. They are Muslims, and they I saw when I speak to them, when I talk to them, they're like every time even more and more people from Sarajevo, the Muslims from Bosnia, are more and more supporting Russia.
Really?
Because
This
you
is
know
the
why? You know why?
yes.
Because after the start of the war in Gaza, a lot of people who supported Muslims in Bosnia now support Israel, who kills a lot of Muslims.
I understand that. And that's exactly why Putin has started this 7th of October. That was the whole reason, because he wanted to bring the Muslim population of the Balkans and of the world against Israel and so against America. So that
Yeah, I
was
know.
all his idea behind the 7th of October. And that's why I post so often on my Twitter account. You can see the Israeli flag, and I say, Israel is Kosovo, Kosovo is Israel, Bosnia is Israel, Ukraine is Israel. We are all the same, because this is the borderline against Serbian-Russian war machine and aggression.
Serbia's war machine. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
This
And
is the
we
compliment.
are here. We are
But we
here
have
in the same boat. The Israelis, the Ukrainians, the Albanians, and the Bosnians. We are the victims of this kind of Serbo-Russian war machine over the
how
last
many
20 years.
Jewish people were killed in Ukraine during World War II?
Oh, millions. It was a big tragedy. It was the center of the Holocaust. Yeah.
And who was Bandera?
He is a nationalist leader who was collaborating with the Nazis and who was killed
And
by the KGB in Munich.
okay, and
With an umbrella, you know, the KGB have poisoned him with an umbrella or with some other means.
and
Yeah,
and
it's
and
now
how
officially
uh-huh,
certified.
and how do you comment when you see Ukrainians still supporting and chanting his name?
First of all these groups are a very small minority in Ukraine, and so you can in no way make the whole Ukrainian state or
Never,
society
never,
responsible for
never,
that. But
never,
you
never.
know, you also have people who love Draža Mihailović in Serbia, and
Um,
Draža and Bandera are basically the same. Yeah,
no,
so
you cannot.
very much the same. Draža is Bandera, Andera is Praja, and
No, no,
it's
no,
one unit. Yes,
no,
absolutely,
no, no.
and
Basically, no,
absolutely.
no,
This is
because
one and the
Draža wasn't. Draža was. Do you know about the savings of American pilots and American army in Western Serbia? 500 American pilots were saved by Draža. So
thanks a lot. Yeah.
do you know? Why do you say thanks? I didn't say he saved Austrians. He killed Austrians.
No, but
He
I'm
saved
mentally
Americans.
a pro-Western person. So I'm, you know,
Y-
I
y-
look genetically like a Austrian, a German for you, but I'm in my brain a NATO American. And
Okay,
I feel
but
part of, when I say we won, I say America won because I have changed. I'm just physically, genetically Austrian, but in my brain and in my thinking, I'm American and
are
we're
you
all
Christian?
American.
Are you
Yes,
Christian?
absolutely.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Do you believe in God?
You are asking Serbian, does he believe in God? But you know
But
that the
why do
God.
you endorse genocide then?
No, no,
Because
no, no, no.
God
But
is a
we didn't
peace-loving
finish.
per
We are
it's
not finished about.
peace-loving. We
We
shouldn't
are not
kill
finished.
anybody.
I'm not for killing, but we are not finished
That's good.
about talking about genocide. When you ask Serbian, if he believes in God, how cannot he believe in God because God is Serbian? Dude, you have to know that.
Ah, Tesla is Croatian. You know that?
Oh,
No, sorry,
you
Tesla
can
is
talk.
Austrian.
Tesla
That's
is
not
German.
joke.
But
Tesla is
yeah,
American. But he
yeah,
was great. And God is for everybody, you know. God has no
yeah.
nationality.
I
He is
haven't finished.
a supreme human being. He is gentle and he hates people who kill other people. So please,
I hate people who kill other people too.
very good. You're a
But
good man.
I would not kill them. I would throw
Torture
them to
them?
court. Throw them to court. I would not torture them, but I think that there is a
Why?
justice.
The people
Uh,
are innocent.
yeah. No. When it
The
comes to
Albanians were innocent when you killed them. The Bosnians
police,
were innocent.
how can I had like 9 years, 10 years.
But
How can you say that I
your
killed them?
archons and your militias, your
But you just said that I
your
killed them.
state, but you are Serbia.
Aha, okay.
Or
I
are you not
understand.
related?
I'm listen,
And
please.
did you apologize for the crimes of genocide you committed
Now
against?
I can
No,
apologize.
exactly. That's the problem.
Listen. I can apologize for the war crimes. And when I sit with my Muslim friends, I apologize for the war crimes.
Mhm.
I'm so sorry for what has happened. You know, I told you on my last podcast that my father is Serbian, my mother is a Muslim from Bosnia.
Respect.
So
Shalom
I
and
cannot
salam.
go. I cannot go that far. Basically, you cannot talk to me like you would do with some other people. You know, I know that war crimes happened, and I go to Bosnia and I said openly to everybody, genocide never happened, war crimes happened, and people understand me. I don't have any problems with it. You don't live here. You don't know how it is to live here.
It's
You
not easy.
travel you travel to drink coffee in Pristina and you take pictures, and that's your tourism stuff. You don't live here. You don't know how it is like to lose family members on both sides.
No, I lived actually 12 years in Kosovo and in Albania. So more a
Both.
little bit I know my stuff as well. And
And,
I've been 3 months I lived in Serbia in
and I can
2005.
tell you, and I can tell you one
And
thing about Muslims from Bosnia. About I can tell you a lot about my brothers and the people who are uh, who have Islam for religion, but they know that they were before that they had Serbian last names. They have Serbian last names for centuries. I can tell you how they feel. They don't support Ukraine, Gunter. They don't support Israel.
everybody
No,
should support Ukraine.
and
Everybody should
you should
support
understand.
Israel.
But how can I?
Everybody should
Okay,
support Kosovo. Everybody should
listen.
support Bosnia because we
Okay,
are the victims of unfair and criminal attacks.
you
And we are all the
you
same.
want to say that Serbs committed that my people here, that my country, that our army here committed genocides,
Yes.
how do you call 40 more than 40,000 civilian victims in Gaza? Is that not a genocide?
That's of course a terrible war crime, and
It's not a
I
genocide.
condemn it. It's not genocide, no, definitely
Why?
not.
How?
Because genocide is when they want to kill a people, basically. They
And
planned
you want
extinction of a people. And
you
that
want to
is
say that this
obviously
is
not the plan of a democratic army of a democratic state, which the Israel Defense Force is. Yeah? And if
so
they
you want to
commit war
say
crimes, it must be investigated.
so
But
you
it's
want
not
to
the
say
plan.
so you are
And you
saying
you try to
basically,
kill all Albanians. You try to kill
Gunter,
all Bosnians.
Gunter,
That is genocide.
basically, you are saying now that these 40,000, more than 40,000 victims are like that just happened. Nobody wanted to kill them. 40,000, more than 40,000 people. It
Yeah,
cannot be a
that's,
mistake. You want to say it's a mistake.
if Hamas would have surrendered, as they should have,
But
most
don't
of
talk
these people
about
would be
Hamas.
alive. Yeah,
Do you know
it's
that
very
in
much
Bosnia,
Hamas. This is the
do you know,
responsibility for Hamas.
Gunter, do you know that Hamas soldiers were in Bosnia fighting against Serbs in
Mhm.
Bosnian war? Do you know that?
No, I really was not totally aware, but I know that there was Islamist fighters in Bosnia. That's true.
And
Also from
and
Iran, and it was also when they committed crimes. I'm absolutely against criminal
so
activity. But at
how
that
can you
time, it
support
was
one
necessary
Muslims?
to send fighters in order to stop the Serb war machine who was killing indiscriminately people or because of their beliefs and ethnicity. And obviously, I'm totally against that. So I
Okay,
wait for your
okay,
apology.
okay, okay. So let's get things straight. You are calling the things that the war crimes that happened in Bosnia genocide, but the things and the killings of
Yes,
civilians in
they
Gaza,
are.
that is not a genocide.
No, they are not.
Okay, okay. I just want to be clear about that because there is a lot of Muslims living in Vienna. I have a lot of people from Bosnia, Muslims who are living in Vienna,
They
and
had
I
to
think that
flee. They had to flee
they.
from your atrocities
And do you
and from your
understand
genocide.
what comments do you have on X when you support Israel? Do the people, Muslims, how do they react?
No, I'm very clear. I support also the two-state solution and the membership of Palestine and NATO. And also I support Amistris calling for European troops to enter Gaza and to continue the defeat of Hamas and to rebuild Gaza as part of the Palestinian state, which must join NATO together with Israel. And also the
Okay,
European Customs Union, the Euro must be introduced, and Kosovo must be the role model for Gaza. So that's
okay,
basically, we will send international administrators, we will do nation building there, and everybody who wants to build some Muslim extremist kind of mini state will be defeated, and that must be the task of the international troops and the international administrations of Gaza.
What about migration in Europe? Illegal migration. How do you cope with that? How do you look at that?
It's exaggerated issue. We are Europeans are all migrants, yeah. We migrants since centuries or millennia on our continent,
Migrants
and
from
now,
Afghanistan, Pakistan,
yeah,
from Eastern.
you know, everybody for me, everybody who keeps the law here in Austria, that means they don't commit any crimes here on the streets, or they try to find work. Everybody is welcome. What I don't like is migration into the social system, and what I don't like is criminals. So is anybody a criminal? Send them home back or put them in prison, obviously, clearly. If anybody just comes here for social benefits, and I think it's very few, then it's also not good. But when somebody comes to work here in Austria, if he's from Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, he has a reason to go, because most people certainly want to live at their home place, because it's much nicer to be at home where you feel safe, secure, and you are part of the system. And that's, of course, a reason why they leave, probably because Russia has destroyed the place, like in Syria, like in Afghanistan, like in Sabah. Russia is basically
for everything.
Guilty for most of the bad things in the world. Russia is responsible.
Okay,
and Iran, of course, they are.
You could say
it's
that.
a combination.
You could have said that in the beginning. You could say, Mario, listen, before we start talking, I want to say Russia is guilty for everything. And then we can jump those questions, Yeah. I can understand that, but
then we couldn't have spoken 1.5 hours, and I have the sad news in 5 minutes. I hope you're not upset, but I have to go to another event.
Yeah. You're like everyday event, like you're a clubbing guy, you're like I don't know where do you get the energy from?
I go to the memorial ceremony of Otto von Habsburg. That's my event today.
Okay,
it's a Catholic mass which will be read in his memory, because I like him very much, because he always warned out of Putin. He's died already 10, 12 years, and he is very good gentleman and great thinker, and he has basically made very clear that he is warning Europe and the world from evil Putin, and he is very right.
Okay, let's use this last minutes of our talk, because why I said migrants? I said migrants because I have read the statistics from Germany, from Switzerland, from UK, that the majority of criminals are basically people with the migration past, as I can put it that way. The migrants, the illegal migrants and migrants are doing the worst kind of crimes in European Union. And this is why I ask you, how do you look at it from the one side? From the other side, we have examples of you spoke about European freedom. We have examples of arresting 70-year-old people in Germany just because they reposted a meme on social networks. Is that freedom? Where do you see the freedom when we talk about censorship? When we talk about,
first of all, nobody in European Union is arrested for expressing his opinions. If you insult anybody or make some hate speech, you might be punished financially. But to my best knowledge, nobody in the European Union ever got arrested for any kind of.
I have read this.
Absolutely fake news. The second thing is, when it comes to the point that it's about migrants. Most of the migrants in Austria and the immigrant communities are from the Balkans. Yeah? So, and that's also true, I think, for most European countries. Should be much more open, because we are not very open at the moment, and I criticize this. When somebody comes from Afghanistan, I'm a bit, more reluctant, and I say, please, you must make a contribution here or go home. That is, nobody should stay in any kind of refugee camp, but they should be on the labor market. There should be some support, yes, but not continuously. And if somebody from Syria needs protection, we will protect him, because Putin is destroying Syria, and so we have to carry the burden. But nevertheless, I'm in principle open for all human beings as long as they are obeying the law, and as they say no to genocide. And if they distance themselves from Srebrenica or Mariupol genocide, that's very important. I would do a test for everybody. Are you against Putin's genocidal war? Are you against Serbia's genocidal war? Are you against Assad's genocidal war? And are you ready to work in Austria and to obey the law? Very
Yeah,
good.
you told
If
it.
you
You
commit
told
a
it.
crime, off in the airplane.
Yeah, you told it the last time. Okay, so we have like 30 seconds, 1 minute more. I want to ask you for the end of our conversation, because you have said last time, you have said I would also, you would make a test, and if we got it wrong, we are going to go to camps, we are going to be deported. Okay, I understand your point of view for that, but I want to hear your predictions of, put it in 30 seconds, what is going to happen in Ukraine, Russia-Ukraine conflict now, in that war. What is going to happen in the next period? You have your
In the
time.
next 3 months, Ukraine will be liberated. We will liberate Crimea. We will win this war. Ukraine will win this war with American and European support. And then Ukraine will be integrated in NATO by President Trump.
Okay, you have said it really fast, and that I appreciate it. One thing for the end, can you promise me that I can come to Vienna, and next time we can do a podcast, real podcast, face to face, and I can wear a T-shirt with Gavrilo Princip on it, and not be arrested,
Absolutely. You can do
and,
that in Austria
and not be
100%. Sure.
arrested, and not be arrested.
100%. I will promise you I come to Belgrade as well with a T-shirt carrying Gunter Felinger, Nazi bastard, and I will go on the Knez Mihailova Street, and I will have a Kosovo flag at the Republic Square of Belgrade,
But
and
when?
you tell me that I will not be arrested.
But you're comparing totally different things. I'm carrying, like, I want to come with Gavrilo Princip monument to put it in Vienna, and you're talking about coming here to Serbia waving some fake flag which looks like chicken nuggets from some fast food. Yeah, it's funny. I know that you're laughing at chicken nuggets flag, and it's good.
It's the
But
Republic of Kosovo. It's a very
it's
proud
chicken
state.
nugget. It's
If you
chicken nuggets,
recognize
dude.
it, it's my offer.
Chi-
You get the euro as currency, and you will
it's
be
chicken
allowed to
nuggets,
join the
dude.
European Union if you join NATO as well. That's a good
Okay,
offer.
I'm not going to take any more of your time, Gunter. Thank you very much for being a guest tonight. I'm going. Please wait until I do translation.
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes. I
going.
will wait.
I'm going to publish it in 5, 6 days.
Okay.
And
Tag me
please,
on
and
Twitter, please,
yeah, yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
publish it,
I
and
will.
then I can release it as well on my website.
And please don't cut it like you did the last time.
No, I'm certainly not cutting it. I love
Ah,
every moment of this conversation.
okay, okay. Have a nice night. Have a nice day. Go to party. Go to the balls and stuff. And
Thanks for the interview.
yeah, thank you for accepting to be my guest. A lot of people they're talking about freedom of speech and the discussion, but when it comes to talking about somebody with someone who thinks differently, they don't want to. I respect that on your side, because you're open to talk. I really respect that. Thank you.
Thanks for the invitation. Thanks for the
Yeah,
debate.
have a
Anytime
nice
again.
have a nice time. I'm going to switch it off. Gunter, thank you again. And I listened to you very good the last time we spoke. And basically, Gunter, everything that you have said in our last podcast, nothing happened. Like you missed basically everything, everything in our talk, every kind of analysis, every kind of prediction. You didn't get the one. I couldn't find a one that you were right. Okay. Okay, you can record also on your end if you wish. Well,
Okay.
for me, it's the only thing that matters is uh, wait till I finish the translation, and after that you can publish it.
Okay, very good. It's also better for my podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Uh,
Happy.
okay. Okay. I'm going to say hello to the crowd, all the people that are listening from Serbia and abroad. Welcome to Mario Zna podcast. Welcome to the new episode with Gunter Felinger from Austria. Somebody calls him he is a NATO propagandist. Somebody calls him that he is Serbian hater, that he hates Serbs. But let's talk today. A lot of questions are there in for Gunter. Um, Last time, Gunter, welcome to the show. Firstly,
Thanks a lot again for the invitation. I'm very happy to be on your show and
thank you.
looking forward to the debate.
Yeah. Listen, last time when we did a podcast, you asked me if you can record from your side, and I said yes, like this time. It's perfectly normal that somebody can record from the other end so he can have all the information. But one thing before we start talking, I have to ask you because you published the our podcast and also Russian media. I saw that Russian media took your material from your YouTube channel and they also showed it. Yeah, one question: why did you cut the video that is 1 hour and 15 minutes long to half an hour video? Is censoring the part of the Western culture?
No, no, no. We believe in free speech. Be sure about it and publish everything because I love the debate. And I think
I
I
know.
published everything and I shared also. And I saw that in Russian state TV, our show, your show, was actually featured then in November 2023 very prominently. So I do
Yeah.
some advertisement for you and it's good for both of us.
Yeah, but you cut the video, which is 1 hour and 15 minutes long to 38 minutes. How is that possible?
I don't know that, but you can trust me. I'm very much for free speech. I'm even more for free speech than Elon Musk, and I will check it. But I probably didn't look at it because it was a long video. I just uploaded what was on Zoom, basically generated, and then maybe some mishap happened. But I want to everybody to know what's going on in Serbia, and this debate is very important for the public. And so I'm interested to have as much published as possible.
Okay, before we come to Serbia topic about my country, you want to talk about it. It's perfectly normal. There is a lot of things going on around here with protests, with lots of stuff. You know, European Union wants to mine lithium in our country, and we don't want to give our resources and our nature to European Union and car makers. But we will come to Serbia. But before we come to Serbia, Gunter, there is a lot of things that has happened since the last time we talked. We don't have much time. I know that you are a busy man. I know that you go